Germany is the biggest economy in Europe, twice the GDP of Russia. But it's also been the biggest free rider in NATO for decades. They've finally reached 2% of GDP on defense by some metrics, but they're still not a very capable force. Germany promised in 2023 to deploy an armored brigade to Lithuania, and that brigade isn't going to be fully operational until 2027. It takes the nation that once fielded hundreds of divisions 4 years to move a single brigade just a few hundred miles away from Germany. General Cavoli, the Europeans are finally starting to spend more on their defense, but how long is it going to take before their spending turns into real capability?
Thanks, Senator. This is a very important question because we have been waiting a long time to get the levels of defense spending we're starting to see. Now there's got to be something to buy. So we have a lot of countries, 23 nations, budgeting over 2% this year, several going over 3%. I believe the number 6 are over 3% this year. Now it's a matter of converting it into hardware and organizations. And our industrial base, both in Russia and on this side of the Atlantic, is struggling to produce the relevant equipment and the quantities needed. So basically, there's more money available than stuff right now, sir. I think
Why?
Well, our defense industrial bases on both sides of the Atlantic consolidated and atrophied under lack of orders. And then there are some bureaucratic problems in governments in terms of acquiring stuff so that it goes slowly. But I think this question of the elasticity of our defense industrial base, again, on both sides of the Atlantic, is one of the great strategic questions of the next 10, 15 years.
Got it. The German defense minister last year said that Germany needed to move towards spending 3% of its GDP or more on defense. Do you think the Germans are serious about spending that much on their military?
Yeah, I think they are, Senator. And the reason I say that is because Friedrich Merz was just elected as the next chancellor in Germany. And very rapidly, he sort of outlined the next coalition that he's going to be leading. And they came to an agreement to do a massive increase in defense spending, far beyond the 100 billion euros they talked about a couple of years ago. And the way they got there was by releasing the so-called debt brake that prevented Germany from assuming deficit spending. So they have exempted defense spending from the debt brake. This is an historic breakthrough for them, and it is the thing that's going to allow them to apply their rather prodigious economic resources to defense.